Hello, welcome to the Crates Motel. My name's Conan. In today's video, I'm going to be giving away my Linn Drum that I've been using for 40 or so years. The samples from my Linn Drum, not an actual Linn Drum. Let's jump in. Okay, so just to quickly explain, this is a Linn Drum which I recorded, now I think it was about 1987. I can't work out exactly, because obviously we didn't have things like phones and stuff like that. And whilst I did keep a diary, I don't know where that diary would be now. I think it was 1987, could be 1986. I can tell you that it was a Linn Drum recorded through an SSL desk into SSL 4000 desk into a TIAC 4-track tape recorder, and it was recorded on Ampex 456. Then, just to make it more complicated, this is actually a kit which I made for my Aiaiaia Instruments S2400. And so what I've done is I've gone from my S2400 and sampled it into my MPC. Now with my drum kits that I give away, I'm not knocking anybody here at all, but obviously people sell drum kits. There's countless Linn Drum kits online and all the other drum machines that you can think of. But what I like to do, which I hope is a bit different from everybody else, is I provide you the drum kit firstly for free, but secondly I put it into a program in the MPC so that you can use it in the MPC Standalone. I do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. I add some compression and some EQ. There's some effects in there and stuff. But basically it's a standalone kit or program that you can load into your MPC Standalone. But it does also include the WAV files, so you can actually load that into your computer or any other sampler. So let's get into it. Not going to go into too much history on the Linn Drum today. There's loads online. So I have made it just one bank again, like some of my past drum machines. 16 sounds, kick, snare, clap, rim shot, or I think it was called side stick on the Linn. Open and close, ride and crash. Then there's a bunch of percussion. Now what I've done with these congas is I've actually tuned them. It's actually just one sample. Cabassa. And then the tom as well. There was only one tom and I've tuned those for you. Now I seem to remember that the clap on this Linn Drum didn't work properly. So there is a possibility that that is a clap off an LM1. They were very, very similar. There were a couple of quite big differences. But I'm not 100% sure. I just want to say this. I'm not 100% sure that that clap is off the Linn Drum that I recorded onto Ampex 456 in the 80s. So what have I done in the program for you? Well, to start with, on the submix, I've sent the entire kit to submix 1. So that's your drum bus basically. And on there, I've just added some effects. I've added compression, standard drum bus compression there, really. You've probably seen me do this countless times before, similar to a DBX 160, 3.9 to 1, 4 to 1, longer attack to let the transients through, short release. And that's it, basically. But there's nothing applied on there. It's up to you to apply how much compression you actually want. Then I've just got power EQ. I've just rolled off the absolute lows and I've rolled off up to 12 kilohertz. That, again, is something that I do. It just adds a little bit of authenticity to it. Sometimes there might be a little bit of aliasing, but it was something that at the time we quite often did with drums. But, you know, you don't have to keep that on there. Little bit of tube drive. I've added some drive and I've added some saturation. And then I've just put the MPC 60 at the end. And if you watch my videos, you'll know that's because I like what the MPC 60 emulation does on the MPC Standalone. But it doesn't sound like an MPC 60. But it does add a really, really nice bit of low end. So that is your submix. That's your drum bus. And all the drums are going into there. That's not going to work because I'm not on the drum page now, am I? Let's come out there again. So you can see they're going into the submix. So, but it's up to you to apply your compression, your EQ and stuff. I've just put that in there so all the heavy lifting's done. But then what I have done on the individual pads is I have done a little bit of EQ work. So I've added air channel strip onto each and every single one, as you can see. And what I've done is with the kick drum, let's go into it. Come on, why not? And now I've turned off the gate and comp on pretty much all of them. I think the snare is the only one I've added a bit of comp on. And I've rolled off the lows on the kick, only at 21, because I want a little bit of boom in there. I've added a little bit of 78, just because that's kind of roughly just in front of where the fundamental of the kick was. I didn't want it right on the kick. But that's all I've done with the kick drum. With the snare drum, like I said, obviously the high pass filter, I've rolled it up a little bit further, but not too high, because the snare drums on Linn's and those vintage drum machines, DMX, things like that, did have a nice bit of oomph to them. So you don't want to roll it off too high, make it sound too brittle. Rolled off a little bit of mud, added a little bit of crispness. You can hear the mud come out. It's kind of going, ooh, ooh, ooh. When God, I can't believe I just did that. It doesn't sound like a chimpanzee, but when let's just take it out. You can hear there's a little bit of mud in there. It's a frequency around about between 200 and 240. When I come back in again, you can hear it's crisper, and that ooh, ooh, ooh sound has gone. So sorry. Okay, so now we go into the hi-hats. No, we don't actually. We go into the clap. Same with that. Again, this goes throughout. It's probably to do with the desk, the SSL desk, and the Ampex 456, but there was a little bit of mud on most of them. So between 180 and 240, I've rolled off a little bit of mud on most of the sounds on there, and I've obviously added high pass filter on there as well. But it changes for each different sound. You have to remember that. Don't look at a chart that somebody has put online, no names mentioned, and see that they say that you must roll off everything at 80 hertz, or you must roll off all vocals at 110 hertz, etc., etc. They're nice guidelines, and there's nothing wrong when you're first starting out to look at the guidelines. Look roughly where mud is, look roughly where nasal sound is, look roughly where clarity is. But remember that every single instrument, every single snare, kick, hat, bass, everything, I'm not going to name all the instruments in the world, but they all have very, very slightly different ranges of frequencies. So don't apply anything by default. Please just don't do that. Okay, so going on to the side stick, again, you can see I've rolled off a little bit of low end, but again, not too much, because it did have a nice little oomph to it. Really famous side stick or rim shot sound that Prince utilised on so many tracks. In fact, should we come out and we'll go into 16 levels and we'll go into tune. Okay, that's probably where you know it more, is Prince used to tune it right down. Now, I can't remember whether he used an LM1 or a Linn Drum. I have got a suspicion that it was actually an LM1, but the sound is very similar and you can get away with it. No one's going to know. Let's come out of there, back into pad mix. Going into the hats, you can see I've rolled off a little bit more low end because it's a hat. I've added a little bit of brightness. That goes throughout the hats and the cymbals. Percussion, the same. And it follows through. With the toms, because the high tom generally, you want it to have a little less oomph than the lower toms, the high pass filters are a little bit different on those three in particular. So that's all I've done really with the EQ and the compression with the actual drums. And then what I've done, just for a little bit of fun, look at me getting all excited about this. I'm sure some of you out there do get excited about this. By the way, I just want to say it's obviously it's coming towards the end of May now. I live in Dubai. The heat here is sick. It has no business being this hot. Yesterday it was 51 degrees Celsius outside at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Apparently it's one of the hottest recorded May days in Dubai, in the UAE. Don't know what it's going to be like today, but I've got the AC on full blast and I'm still kicking up a little bit of a sweat, which is why I keep rubbing sweat off my top lips. I do apologise for that. If I look a little bit glistening, it's the sweat. So what I've done for you is I've added some effects and stuff. So if we go into track mix, and as you know, if you watch my videos, I add a reverb and a delay on 1 and 2, and I've added a flanger on 3. Now, these are just sort of classic 80s style kind of effects. And I've saved your own little presets. You've got your own little presets there. Crates Motel, vintage delay, etc. Sorry, didn't mean to press that. There we go. And these are, you know, I mean, obviously add your own effects and stuff, but I just wanted to, perhaps for a little bit of fun, but just also to take a little bit of the heavy lifting out, or maybe inspire you a little bit, added some effects on there for you as well. So just quickly going through those. If we go into the sends, standard issue. Actually, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We'll do that at program level. That's going to be better. So standard 80s. Okay, standard stuff really. This is an interesting style of delay. It's 1/8 triplets, and it was something that we used to do. I can't remember what the unit was. I think it might have been some kind of guitar pedal. But it was a style of delay that was used on a lot of really early electro, a lot of new wave stuff from that kind of time, Human League, Depeche Mode, those kind of people as well. So it's a triplet, basically, but it's very, very subtle. And it just adds a little bit of slapback kind of sound to it. And then finally, we've added a flange, which is another one of those words that I find difficult to say without laughing. I've been in front of a room full of students before at a sound engineering academy, and we were talking about effects and talking about chorus modulation effects, basically. And every time I said flange, I couldn't help but nearly laugh. And it's so pathetic and it's so childish, but I don't know why the word flange. Let's move on. So we've got... So you can hear it's got this kind of like doing kind of sound, kind of a metallic sound. So this is a kind of an effect that Arthur Baker used to use a lot with Africa Bambaataa. Aleem used it. Basically, a lot of early electro artists. Captain Rock used it. Absolutely, Captain Rock used that effect. So if you know your early electro, you'll know that. But you know, also a lot of pop artists that we use in the Linn Drum, the Oberheim, the LM1, and the other drum machines from that time period, 808, 606, those kind of things. But it's quite an interesting effect that quite a lot of people overlook, but it really does capture that total kind of 80s sound. So there you have it. I think I covered it all. I've tried to keep these. The thing is, when it comes to drum machines, drums, etc., so I'm going to ramble now. I can ramble for absolutely hours. And my wife said to me that perhaps not always people don't always want to hear the half-hour rambling about a snare drum. So I try and keep them tight, quick, and straight to the point. But basically, this drum kit is yours. Download it, use it to your heart's content, enjoy it. The Linn Drum, amazing drum machine. I have actually got the original samples from an LM1 that were put onto an EEPROM and then used in a Linn Drum. But I haven't sorted those out yet. I've got those. Those were another Ampex 456 recording. So, and just briefly to go back to what I said right at the start of the video, is this is from a Linn Drum original EEPROM into SSL Desk 4000 into a TIAC with Ampex 456. That has then been sampled into my Aiaiaia Instruments S2400 and then sampled into my MPC. So there's quite a lot of analog, jiggery, pokery, additional kind of stuff going on there. And it all adds to the sound, which is great. And yeah, that's it. So just please enjoy. So thanks for watching. This is the Crates Motel. My name's Conan. Till next time.